Awesome. Thank you for that introduction. So I'm going to apologize because I'm going to go at a pace that's going to hurt your heads. But my goal is to make sure that you have something that will just knock your socks off. These are the type of tools that I recommend when I speak to business owners and whatnot. You're probably wondering yourself, why in the world does a real estate agent know technology? And I'll tell you why. I'm very old, that's the first thing, right? So I was a technologist, been very technical since the beginning. I happened to start a small company back in '95 called Realtor.com. So I went in there, launched it, and then I was a tech guy, REO broker, and then I ended up auction.com. I love technology. AI is one of these things that when I saw how internet transformed the way business was done. You think about it, if the internet's out, you can't do business. And eventually AI will become that next kind of thing. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So the first, and I stress people out because I love technology. And I've been accused in some of my presentations, I go too fast and I embrace it too much. Everyone's using AI to basically do what they want. It's replacing Google searches. I have it so I search with it right now. And you've seen Google also has been implementing Gemini into their search. It's also changing marketing, by the way. I have completely shifted all of my marketing to the generative way of long searches rather than the short SEO searches. And that's a whole nother conversation. It went ahead and it gave me this nice summary of what I should do in the next 90 days. And it is spot on. I looked at this and I was actually going, wow, because you kind of pepper little questions into the AI and all that kind of stuff. And it just came back with a nice thing. It said, you want a 90-day tactical plan? And then went here, so yeah, here's your phase one, content pillars, video cadence, brand presentation. I'm actually building a lot of my channels right now through YouTube and content, mainly for the search criteria. And it gives me all the expansion. So this little prompt here you put in there, knowing what you know about me from previous chats, what advice would you give me right now? It's great. One thing I do want to share with you is that what you share with AI is admissible in court. So if you do anything nefarious, just be aware. Just like a Google search, they can take this information. So don't overly share. But people are anyways, and they can't help themselves. So this is just something to think about. The ChatGPT, there is, by default, it will share everything to the mothership. So anything you put in there will then help the mothership get better. Claude, if those have not used it, is actually a little bit safer. I love Claude, especially for its writing and coding. I am not an actual coder. I know enough to be dangerous, but I'm called what you call a no coder. Claude, by default, it doesn't go to the mothership. All right, another pro tip is there's another feature that both Claude and ChatGPT utilize that's called project folders. And I use this absolutely all the time. And what's nice about a project folder is that you can create kind of like a mini GPT or a little bot that focuses on a primary subject. And instead of trying to roll the dice and get information that you're looking for, instead I make an intelligent folder that has documents that are references, and then I start to engage it, and all that information that's very hyper-focused in that one particular project folder really helps me kind of just utilize what I want information. I have these project folders. You can add files to it. These are files that I've added from presentations, from articles that I like, from rent control. I added a deep research and I put everything in there. What I've done is I've created a smart little AI bot that understands and loves rent control. And I can go in there and I can ask it information. A lot of people, what they'll do is if they'll have questions about taxes and again, it doesn't replace professionals because it does hallucinate. I understand that, I appreciate that, but it's getting really, really, really close. So this is something that I recommend if you haven't used it. Both ChatGPT and Claude have this feature of project folders, and you'll see that I have different types of project folders. I built a lot of code programming, so I'll bring all the information of help files into this, and I make a little smart agent that does what needs to be done. All right, next one, ChatGPT. And if I were to bet who the winner would be, I think it'll be ChatGPT, mainly because Microsoft is behind it, and it's being integrated into all the products. Copilot, which is weird, the browser is becoming a thing nowadays. And also I would recommend if you're gonna do any type of marketing, focus on the Copilot browser. It's gonna be starting there first. They have an investment with ChatGPT, big investment. So I am all in on ChatGPT. I believe if you're gonna focus on one, focus on them. They have what they call a GPT store. So before the project folders, which anyone can do, everyone can understand how to do project folders, they had the thing called a GPT store. Now, the way I explain this to normies, that's why I call all of you, so that's how it rolls, that this is like the iPhone store back in the day. You don't have to pay for any of this. So instead of trying to figure something out, what I encourage for most users to do is search for it. If you're trying to do something, search for the GPT. All the top brands have created a GPT that will plug into their system, or someone who's really smart. The one thing I love about the internet and YouTube is that if you ever want to learn anything, you can go deep in a rabbit hole and just learn a tremendous amount. You can become an expert and get access to just incredible people. I'm starting to learn actually hacking into AI, and there's this really cool guy. He's like 350 pounds, has the glasses, the hoodie, and he has a neck beard. So he's legit, totally legit. And you can learn just tremendous stuff. So he makes these GPTs here. So this GPT, you can go ahead and you can search for anything. And they'll tell you here are the top 10, all free. So don't try to create something, look for it. You can also, with your account, make your own GPTs. Now this is a little involved. I've done this for my companies. I help other companies, your processes, kind of that bot, business coaches. I did create two, and I put in the links here. One that we use quite a bit, I've had a few requests for it, is this little gem I call the PDF directory extractor. So, you get all the PDF roster files from Provisor meetings. I'll drop it in here and it'll extract all the information and it'll create a CSV file that I'm able to upload it to my database. So if I have any referrals, I don't have to type everything. It does it for me automatically. So I created that one. I gave you a link to it. It's free. And then another one I did was a business pitch one. If you want to just do like business pitches, that type of stuff, this is they call the pitch tool. That's another one as well. It's over here. Yeah, it's loaded out. But these are just ones. I made I call the Tony bot. This is trained in my writing style, which is interesting is that I discovered I've been using AI for such a long time that I had to go way back for some good actual writing samples that I have. The best sources for writing samples, what I recommend, is go back in long form emails that you've drafted pre-AI and put that in there. Also, another thing too, I can pick up that someone's used AI if there's a long dash. That's a little trick. So make sure the EM dashes are removed. I have been unsuccessful to train my bots to remove the EM dash. For whatever reason, AI loves EM dashes. If it's an EM dash, just have a remove EM dash and it'll do that for you too. Okay, now moving on, what can you do with it? ChatGPT is starting to integrate some cool stuff in it. You'll see here, you can connect to your Google Drive. It'll do a deep research in your Drive. I do deep research all the time, meaning it's like having a research assistant that's there that will just search the internet for you. It absolutely create images. By the way, these images that you create through ChatGPT, you can use commercially. A lot of people use these AI things, they don't know they have the commercial license. And just make sure you're going to use it in a commercial sense. Make sure you have the license to do that. In ChatGPT, anything you create, you can actually sell with it. But this stuff here, so I have it summarized. One thing that I've been doing is I say, okay, I want to make some pretty cool content. So you have to get deep, unfortunately, into the no coding life, which is going to be Make and N8N. Make is one step up from Zapier, which probably all of you have used. If you want to have something that's automated, I have everything where it sends all of my posts every single day. I do all these shorts, I bank them, and then all these little things that I create will do these postings for me, or they'll scrape stuff. I have it scraping the internet for data that I want, and it creates a nice little spreadsheet that I will reference later. If I see somebody that's spamming me, I'll capture their email, then I'll spam them back. I have it set up to my spam email, because if they do it to me, I'm gonna do it to them. And then the stuff that's really sexy is N8N. This is a no-code program that I use. Give you an example. This is an example of an execution that I created. And what this little gem does, and I'm so proud of this one, I've replaced all my marketing staff. It writes beautifully. It does what I need to do in my business. So I created what I call Blog Writer. This blog writer, you create it on a form base. I drop in a URL, an article about Section 8 and that you have to accept in the state of California. It will go use Perplexity, it'll do deep research, it'll come back with a blog, it'll plug into this whole thing here, into my little system. I have all these little agentic bots with little brains that do the work. It flows through it, creates a blog file, creates the HTML, merges it out. And then it's very important, a lot of people, they will just post it, never do that. You got to make sure you read the stuff, because again, I require that everything is reviewed prior to. We call this the man in the middle. It will send me a detailed email and say, okay, here's the article. If it's accepted, great. If it is, and then based upon where I'm going to post it, I say, okay, post it on my website, Tech Tony, post it on the South Bay CA, post this is the type of post, comprehensive new post, how many words, I want 200, 400, 1500. And then it comes back with, and it goes and generates these little guys. So I'm here on my Tech Tony site. I'll give you an example here. We'll close out with this. This one here is all generated from that little blog post. And it goes here and it takes it, does little links. This is all, I'm trying to create enough branding and for marketing for the next phase of actual generative long searches. And I have a ton of these little articles going out, and it's beautiful and gold. All right, so there you go. So